everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I'm here to talk about all the books that I'm excited and hopefully will get to read in the month of June. I do not understand how we've made it halfway through the year. June is always very exciting for me in that it gets very busy, but then I finally reach summer vacation from work, which is much needed this year. It's also Pride Month, there's Juneteenth, I have a couple of exciting projects coming up, there's looking forward to Jane Austen July. So much happens in June. So I have here a stack of books that will fit some of the things that I need to work on that month and hopefully that I will also enjoy in June. And you'll find out about other projects as the month goes on. Firstly, for one of those projects, I am reading Passing and a few other books that are in conversation with Passing. So I'm currently listening to The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and when I finish that, I hope to get to Never Far From Nowhere by Andrea Levy. This is a book that I recently found out about, even though I love Small Island, I read Fruit of the Lemon and The Long Song, but I had never heard about this one. And it doesn't say that it's a retelling or in conversation with Passing, but the description sounds like it is. And I'll read you the back to see if you hear what I also hear. Olive is 3 years older than her sister Vivian, and a skin shade darker. Born to Jamaican parents and raised on a London council estate, their early lives are spent in each other's pockets, but their teenage years see them drift apart. Vivian has only ever wanted to fit in, even when it comes at a price. Olive, meanwhile, has always been more impulsive and headstrong than her sister, and finds herself facing a very different future. So that to me sounds wonderful and very much like it's in conversation with Passing and The Vanishing Half about colorism and racism in general, and I can't wait to read it and see how all three of them fit or don't fit together. Next, I also joined Ruby Granger's book club on the app Fable, which has been a lot of fun. We read The Enchanted April, and so this month I need to reread The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. And I read this with my mother when I was in elementary school, and I remember liking it. But I'm really curious to reread it as an adult and see if my thoughts have changed, because apparently they definitely can. If you've never heard of The Secret Garden, it's about Mary, who is a young girl who is orphaned while living in India, and so she is sent back to England, to Yorkshire, I believe, to live with her uncle. And she is a very unhappy and honestly very mean girl to start. But she discovers this secret garden, and through tending it, she begins to find her empathy, her humanity, and various other secrets begin to unfold in the house as well. Honestly, I never realized how gothic the plot sounded until I just described it. So I'm intrigued to see if I pick up on that more in the writing itself, too. Then, of course, June here in the US is also Pride Month, so I've collected some of the LGBTQ books or books by LGBTQ authors that I have on my TBR that I'm really looking forward to reading. So the first is The Longest Journey by E.M. Forster, and this is my last E.M. Forster, and honestly I know nothing about the plot, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I think I can get away with that with Forster. I then have The Intoxicating Mr. Lavelle by Neil Blackmore, which sounds just wonderful. It's set in the 1700s and this young man going on his grand tour of Europe, and he falls in with the intoxicating Mr. Lavelle, who turns his life upside down. It's also compared to the talented Mr. Ripley, so there's definitely some sort of thriller, sinister sort of element lurking beneath the surface. And I've been wanting to read this for years because it sounds just my cup of tea. I also have A Restless Truth by Freya Marsk. I read the first book in this series, which was A Marvelous Light, back in February, and I really loved it. So I'm thrilled to get to this one as well. I don't know how closely it ties in with the plot of A Marvelous Light, so I don't want to tell you too much about it, but I do know that it follows a female-female romance instead of the previous male-male romance. And it is set in an alternate universe Edwardian England where magic also exists, but has to be partially hidden from mainstream society. It's just perfect. I also have Goodbye to Berlin by Christopher Isherwood, which I still have not read. These are the stories that Cabaret was based on, the musical, and they follow such characters as Sally Bowles and characters who are definitely versions of Isherwood himself in the 1930s in the underground LGBTQ Berlin scene. But Nazism is on the rise, and that threatens everything that they have going on in their lives. And then lastly, I still have not read Devotion by Hannah Kent. And this is her third novel, I believe. And it covers the lives of two young women who are on this ship from Germany, I believe, to Australia, seeking religious freedom, but they also fall in love with each other on that journey, and things unfold from there. Of course, I am still working on some projects and some research for Jane Austen July videos. I read an arc recently that I will be able to tell you about towards the end of the month, which I am very, very excited about. And I will probably add other arcs and other audiobooks to this list, but this is my baseline pile of choices. Let me know down below if you have any specific reading plans for June. Do you like to theme your TBRs, or do you read whatever calls to you in the moment? Whatever you have chosen, I hope you love it as well. And until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye everyone.